With the Dance Moms reunion just having happened, the girls and their moms have been talking about the show a little more than usual since they just recently got back together and went down memory lane. And quite a few of the cast over the years have come out to talk about their experience on the show and how things weren't always as it seemed on screen. They've exposed how the producers were, what was real and what wasn't, their experience with Abby, and so much more. I've talked about what Kendall has had to say, Maddie, Kenzie, and their mom, Melissa. And now Christi has come out in a recent YouTube video to talk more about her Dance Moms experience and give even more insight to what happened behind the scenes of the show. Over the years, people had wondered if the competitions the girls did were even real because some of the girls had said that they actually were fake and weren't real, but Christi is saying that they were, but it was also kind of not. In the beginning, the girls did go to real competitions, but as they started to get more and more popular, it started to get too crazy, and it would kind of be a distraction and ruin some of the experiences for other people who had paid a lot of money to attend these competitions. And with the Dance Moms crew there, it would kind of ruin their day with people freaking out that they were there and everything just kind of surrounding them. And so the Dance Moms girls started doing competitions on a separate day from the actual competition. Christi's saying that they are real competitions, but everyone that signed up for the competition would go into it knowing that Dance Moms would be filming, and it was separate from the actual competition, but still a competition.
So what happened was the competition started doing something for us called invitationals. They were real competitions, but anybody who attended them knew that Dance Moms was filming at them. So they may have been held on a different day than the local regional. The regular competition that the competition was holding that weekend, they may have done that on a Saturday and had the Dance Moms competition on a Sunday. And all the people who were coming knew that Dance Moms was filming. So yes, the competitions were real, but they were also invitationals.
I wonder if that's why they actually won as many things as they did. I mean, granted, the girls were so good, and Maddie, are you kidding me? Like, her dances were amazing. All of them really were so talented. But if you think about it, I mean, they're having a special separate competition just because they're filming a show. So I wonder if they manipulated the winners at all. And I'm not saying that they would like manipulate them to even just win every single time. I wondered if it was a thing or not that maybe the producers were like, let's have them lose this one because Abby's gonna be so pissed, and then the next episode she's gonna yell at them and it'll be like so great. I don't know, it just makes you think, but that's definitely why they were sitting at the front of the stage every single time that they did a competition. But in terms of Abby, Christi was asked if she was really as mean as she seemed on television, and well, it seems like there was a lot more that we didn't see.
Okay, so this one I get all the time. Is she really that mean? The answer is she's worse. I promise what you see on TV is not made up. The really bad stuff never made air. I swear. Ask anybody who knows her.
It's certainly why she was cut out from the filming of the reunion. At least she wasn't there the day that the girls were filming. I think had she been, nobody except JoJo would have come because nobody has anything nice to say about her except for JoJo. Now, Christi was also answering a question about one of her famous fights from the show between her and Leslie. It was an episode of Dance Moms where they were in New Orleans, and one of the moms, Christi, was saying that her daughter, Asia, was going to be leaving the competition team and moving to LA because they were getting some really good opportunities that they couldn't pass up. And with this little announcement, one of the moms, Leslie, was excited, feeling like this was her chance to get her daughter permanently on the competition team, and Christi was not having it. On the show, she was given some attitude over it, yelling, and then she started to say that she was a real dance mom, and Leslie tells her that she's had too much to drink, and then Christi knocks Leslie's drink out of her hand, and it was a battle, you guys. The producers are pulling them apart. It was a mess, but people wanted to know if this was real or if this was staged, and Christi says that unfortunately it was real, and it did go down, and she did start the fight, but she had a lot of drinks prior to this.
Yes. Okay, so here's the tea. Your girl was a little drunk. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna pretend like, ooh, Leslie was the bad guy. I had been drinking since like, I don't know, 8 a.m. And so I'm just saying, between Jello shots and hurricanes, I was in a aggressive yet vulnerable situation. And I did start the fight. It was real. And then after the fight, Kelly and I marched to the police station and I tried to get her arrested. And the cop looked at me and said, "But did you start it?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "I'd have to arrest you first." And I was like, "Never mind."
I bet the producers were smiling big this day, knowing that they got the shot that they needed and that the drama for the episode was already there right in front of them, because it all just unfolded naturally after a couple of drinks. Whereas sometimes they would have to kind of try and start something amongst the moms. Christi had also talked about how they would make edits to make it seem like they were coming off a certain way or get them to say stuff that they usually wouldn't.
The show is not scripted. You can't make that up. I actually did say all of the terrible things I said, but I also said a lot of other things. And sometimes, it's easy to take things out of context when you film 40, 70, 60, 50 hours a week. And maybe I was rolling my eyes at something somebody else said, but I wasn't necessarily rolling my eyes like, "Ooh, Maddie's at the top of the pyramid." And then you see me being like, oh. I might have been standing there going like, oh, because the producers told me to stand up straight. And I had been standing there for 45 minutes already. So I was like, I don't want to do this. So no, the show is not scripted, but also keep in mind, we have producers. There are producers there. And so producers are watching everything that's going on around them, and they know what bothers you. They know what stories are going on. And so they are, kind of pushing some things. And also, you're encouraged when you're on a reality show to say things out loud that you would never say out loud in real life.
The show just sounded like a crazy ride, but at the end of the day, she says that she wouldn't take the experience back because she is thankful for what the show did for her family, but she would have done it a little differently. A couple months ago, Christi did open up about some regrets that she had about things that she wished she knew on Dance Moms. And she basically opened up to some personal mistakes from the show. She said that she wished she hadn't had made any fat jokes. She said that if she could go back in time and take it back, she would, and she would not make those jokes today. And this is something that has been talked about, that in Abby's studio, there was a lot of body shaming going on, and Abby herself shamed the girls. So this was language that it seemed everyone was using. And Melissa brought this up in her videos, talking about Dance Moms, that Abby would often make fun of the girls' bodies. So it was unfortunately really normal for them to be around this environment where everyone was talking about bodies and such.
Yes, she would shame the girls. Kenzie still calls her stomach Bob. It's terrible. I mean, she would always touch her stomach. She would tell Nia she has flat feet. And she was like, "Maddie, what's wrong with your teeth?" And, she made fun of Chloe's eye, Brooke's sway back. I mean, like, Brooke doesn't have a sway back. She just was very flexible. That's how she stood. She always made fun of the kids. And she wasn't perfect.
Christi also said that some of her other regrets is that back then she wished that she had shut her mouth more during certain times while filming, and that she didn't need to stand up to everything, and that she should have let some of the others fight their battles so that her daughter Chloe wasn't always in the line of fire because of her. Because if one of the moms was acting up, Abby would certainly take it out on their daughter. Christi says that she would have stood up for the big things, but she definitely would have picked her battles, saying that there were definitely times where she was fighting battles for people that would never have done the same thing for her. And in the end, Chloe was the one that was hurt at the end of the day. And while talking about some of her regrets, she also says that she wished that she knew how long the show would be relevant for. And honestly, I gotta say, it's crazy how the show is still relevant and getting talked about. People still love Dance Moms content, and the girls have millions of followers. People still ask them to this very day about Dance Moms. And I'm always interested when they post videos talking about filming and their experience. And now with streaming, there's a new generation constantly getting introduced to Dance Moms and getting sucked into the drama and becoming fans of the girls and the moms. But this is something that Christi says she wished she knew back in the day, because a lot of the things that were said and done on the show were just not okay today, and she wishes she could just tell people, like, don't be like me. And she also talked about how a show like this just wouldn't be able to be made today. Of course, a similar version maybe, because I think they are trying to reboot Dance Moms, but without Abby. But I don't think it could ever be like what it was. I mean, the wildness back then, I do think, is what made the show so popular, because people just couldn't believe how crazy everyone was, how Abby talked to the girls, how she talked to the moms, how the moms talked to each other, how they fought with Abby. If that came came out today, I feel like so many people would be like, this is so toxic. Children in this environment, they're clearly distressed. People would try to like cancel the show or something. But back then, everyone ate it up. And yes, like I said, people are still enjoying it. People are streaming it. New audiences are seeing it for the first time. But there's definitely so many edits and things that people are making of watching it now and being like, I can't believe this was even allowed to be said, or that this was something that happened on TV. But as crazy as that time was, Christi says that she wished that she had enjoyed it more. She said that they were under constant stress with these crazy schedules and it was toxic and all that. It felt like a pressure cooker of a situation, and she wished that she knew that it wasn't going to last forever and to kind of take a step back and enjoy some of the moments instead of stressing or worrying about what was going to happen next or what fight she was going to be in, and wish that she had sat there and appreciated the relationships that she had built, to pause when the girls were that age and to watch just one more group dance. And when she said that, she like started to get emotional, and I was just like, oh, like that is sweet. Like, to say that she would want to go back and watch one more group dance, like I'm sure like all the moms probably feel that way. But this show is just such an iconic one, I feel, and with the way conversations are still being had about it, just proves that. But that is what Christi had to say about her time on Dance Moms. I want to know what you guys think about everything she had to say in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.